What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. We're going to do things a little bit different right now. It's 7:30, so it's about 1 hour after the market actually opened. So things are kind of dying out. Again, the volume and all these stocks are kind of going to be flatlining again. The first 30 minutes to an hour are usually the most active times within the market. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. We're going to go down the watch list and talk about the stocks that I see potential in no way. Does this mean that you have to trade any of the stocks that we're going to be talking about? As well as we're going to be performing some scans and see what stocks are currently up based on their previous close, and kind of walk you guys through that whole process. So hope you guys are pumped. I do see a good amount of potential, and I think 3 stocks that I went down my list. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start sharing the screen, and we'll go. Okay, so this is TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. So going down the list from DCTH, we're going from volume top to bottom. I do not think that DCTH, after it broke the support here at 14 cents, just like we called out, that was the previous intraday support, and it broke below that support, and now it's trying to hold above 13, or it even went below 13 cents already. So it's still seeing a downward trend. The next support is most likely going to be 12 cents and then move from 10 cents there. So it's still not at the support. It still looks like it's still dropping. Same with AMD. AMD broke the support that it previously had at 12.30. So that's where I ended up cutting my losses. So I was swinging AMD, and I ended up having to cut my losses on this specific stock just due to the break of the support. I knew that if it broke 12.30, that it was going to continue to drop to $12, and it came down to something, that simple. So currently, not super happy with my position that I took on AMD because we got in a little bit too early, but there's nothing wrong with that as long as we make up for it when it comes back up from the rise. So it looks like a lot of technology companies right now are currently down due to the uncertainty within our economy. But that's definitely something that we'll make up. This is one that we talked about yesterday. It's INFY. This is one that I right as I logged in, what's it called, for the live stream, it popped an alert and it said that it went above 1450, which if you guys watched yesterday's live stream, we were trying to identify the support and how it was going to start trending back up. So we know that there was a previous support here at 1450, and this was on Friday. Bounced at 1450, tried to trend back up. It has a 1485. Today, it opened down to lows of $14, and then ended up hitting highs of $14.50. So it's gapping back up, and it looks like it's trying to make up some margin. So if we can break and hold above $14.50, then we would have a nice little profit margin here from $14.50 to $15, which is about 3.56%. Again, nothing huge, but it is consistent profit. And with what it is that we see based on its previous trend, so if we do a 10-day analysis, we could see that it's way down the RSI indicator, indicating that it's way on the overbought side or oversold side, and it still has a lot of margin to make up. Oh, sorry about that. It still has a lot of margin to make up when it comes down to where it usually trades at, and that's around the $15.50 to $16 mark based on just a couple days ago on where it is. So it looks like it's starting to trend back up, and it looks like it's starting to bounce. Just due to the hype this morning, because of it being able to trend back up. It might be a little bit more on the overbought side in this current situation, but it looks like it's holding pretty well. So around 1440, looks like it's doing pretty well. Brad, just like we called out, is still holding above 220. It broke below 222, and it looks like it just went to 223. So it still shows potential as long as it holds above 220. It has a first resistance at 230. And then another one at 240. So AKS, if I'm not mistaken, this one has a support at $5. Let me do a 10-day analysis. Yeah, $5 resistance still at 550. So that's the one that we called out. This was more of a swing trade. So it looks like it's heading back down now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert when it goes below 509. DNR, not too much potential there. Let's continue going down the list. SQ, I just got alerted on this one. The reason that I see potential on SQ is due to the previous bounce that it had here at 24.50, and it looks like it's trying to hold and then pick back up there as well. Do you guys see what it is that I'm talking about? So if we do a 1 minute, all right, here we go. So it looks like it's trying to bounce, but again, we're not going to just go based off of, it's supposed to bounce at 2450 because we know that it can continue trending downward. And if it breaks the 2450 support, then based on its previous history, it's gone to lows of 24, just 24 flat. And that's 2%. So it's up to you if you want to be that risky. I'd much rather wait for the upward trend and then be able to sell around 25, as that's the old support, which is going to be the new resistance. And then that offers that 2% profit margin if you can get to a pretty decent price. Yeah, 2.09. So definitely still shows potential. So right now we're at the old support. It just has to start trending back upward. And then we got to go from there. So the next one. And this is one that I was going to talk to you guys about. So this is, it actually has gone up a lot since the last time I saw it, which was just a couple minutes ago. Yeah, let's see. So this is one that we called out, I believe, on Friday. It broke the support that it had at $3.30, had this gap all the way back down, identified its support at 27.33, so 27.30, and then it started trending back up. So it has this margin of profit to make up back to $30. Therefore, almost a 10% profit margin if it continues to trend up. Obviously, it's going to be running up and down, but this is another one that's more of a gapper, and it looks like it's showing a sign of it actually bouncing. Even if we treat it as, somewhat of a swing trade, definitely still shows that margin for it to be gapping back up, and it definitely has, shown the potential to gap up based on its previous trend from even more lows of like 27 all the way up to 30 all in one day, if you guys can see that. So it definitely has the potential. It just comes down to it actually performing the way that we expect it to. Support again at 27.30, current price point at 28.56. All right, JDST. So this one, I'm not down much due to my position size not being too huge when it comes down to my original position I took on JDST. But right now it's at 59 and it looks like it's trying to bounce. Did go, or it's a little bit below 50, 59. But based on overall where it stands, I'm going to make sure that we still, we can treat it in one of two ways. I can try to get in right now because it's at such a low price, basically where it stands with a 20-day analysis, right? We can see that it's at a really low point and it usually bounces pretty well and then hits, highs. So this is going to be more of a swing trade. And definitely it's going to take a little bit longer to be able to make the profit that we want, right? From 59 to 65. That's 8% though, so that's huge. So if you're willing to dedicate the time and you see the potential, then that's good. And if not to 70, that's about 16.74%. So it just comes down to what it is that you see value in. We can see that it's it doesn't even show that it's oversold right now. So it might not even be finished dropping. But it looks like it's trying to hold above 59. We can wait for the bounce and then wait for it to cross above the EMA line. So if you can see, it's starting a flat line here. Let me go ahead and let's see. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So Joel is like, can this dude do dishes later? 100%. I know. But let's go ahead and see. So AAOI, sweet. Okay, so we have another gapper. This one doesn't look like, this one looks like it's, okay. The thing that I don't like too much about this one, yes, I see that it's like kind of at a old support. But, and then the resistance, yeah, it has the margin kind of like JDST for AAOI, but it's kind of on a downward trend. After its earnings report, it's been seeing kind of a downward trend and overall support at 60. Why is it at 60? Okay. Okay, well, it makes sense then that overall $60 is a previous support, and we're at 61.09. And it actually looks like now it's trying to hold above 60.90. And it looks like it's trying to trend back up. I actually like this one a lot. The potential for today is 5% if it trends up. So I'm going to wait a little bit more for a bounce. and set my alert. I think this was actually a pretty good find. Alrighty. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I actually thought I was sharing my screen. All right, so I looked at AAOI. And due to, I mean, the 180-day analysis, I just had to go a little bit further back. It had a previous support here at $60 and a resistance at highs of $100. After its earnings report, it ended up dropping all the way down to $60 again. So it has a resistance at 70 based on the previous bounce that it had there. So we can call out the resistance at 70, support at 60 based on its previous trend. It has gone below, that specific price point and then trends back up. So, again, it looks like it's been on a downward trend, so it might actually break below and then pick back up again. I would like to play it a little bit safer. And if we focus on the 1 minute candlestick, it looks like it's trending back up. So I'd like to treat it more as a day trade rather than a swing trade. And if we can get above 61.50, then that would give me a better indicator that it's actually trending back up. And not just flatlining here at the support. So it looks like it is trying to hold above $61, has gone to lows of 60.75. But again, it's not about what we hope happens. It's what the charts are telling us. And right now it's just kind of flatlining. So it's kind of a make it or break it. If it comes down, this way, then it's most likely going to continue seeing a downward trend. But then if it could actually bounce and start trending back up, then that means that we can potentially make up the margin that it dropped during the first couple or the first hour of the market opening. So I have my alert set, and then I'll set my alert here as well if it drops below its previous support of 60.75 or where it bounced at. So thank you again for that, and I apologize I didn't share my screen on the first one. All right, FALC. So again, this doesn't meet my criteria. This is a stock that is, and we can see, all right, guys. So a lot of people like focusing on stocks that are less than $1. I don't trade stocks less than $1 for one of two reasons. They're easily manipulated and there's a lot of hype behind them, which means that it's, again, for my style of trading, it's a little bit more technical and it's a little bit more difficult to actually manage risk when it comes to these specific trends. You have to understand with momentum stocks or with these stocks that are hyped up, there has to be an enormous amount of demand for to see this increase in price. So if you could see within this margin right here, it was kind of flatlining, right? And you can't really see volume. Volume is like these little bars that you see right here. But as soon as the volume started to increase, so did the price, right? Same with this, started to increase. And then once the volume started to decrease, so does the price as well. Now what we see right here is we're starting to see somewhat of an increase. We're trying to see an increase of the price right here. And it looks like it's right around that 35-cent to 30-cent margin. So realistically, it looks like the demand is dying out. It looks like it's, if we look at it as more of a swing trade, I guess we have to zoom out. It definitely looks like the demand is starting to die out and it's going to see most likely a downward trend. And we can see based on its previous trends, if it ever has some form of pumps like this in its history on how they end up playing out. They most likely probably don't hold. Yep, so it has a pump, doesn't hold, sees a new downward trend, pump, doesn't hold, sees a downward trend, and it continues to break support. So it's consistently on a downward trend rather than an upward trend. So that's not a good sign. Did have a nice little pump today, so that's good for the past 2 days for those that were able to ride it. Just understand that if you didn't get in it right now, when it comes down to trading momentum stocks, it's all about getting in it before everyone else does and being able to sell. And then once it starts seeing a downward trend, then again, it's most likely going to continue the downward trend. Don't force the trade. So that's just my opinion. It's up to you on what it is that you see value in. But yeah. All right, and then there's one more that you guys, okay, ARCI. Volume is very low on this. Not attractive enough. Why did it show the volume being so low? Oh, it's just today again, overhyped. It looks like it's peaking out, and hit a resistance at 141, and it looks like now it's starting to see a downward trend. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Peaked out at the hill, and then it's now seeing a downward trend. Looks like it's trying to hold above 110. It's probably going to try to hold above $1 as well. So there's going to be probably like little bounces that if you plan them out well, then there's going to be nice profit margins. But again, it's a quick in and out, and I feel like for new traders, it might not be the best decision to make, because if it ends up breaking these supports and it has a quick drop, then it's up to you to having that stop loss and making sure that you cut losses. And realistically, when it comes down to new traders, unfortunately, they're not the most disciplined. Therefore, that's why sometimes these momentum stocks might not be the best opportunity in the current position that you are right now, just because they're a little bit riskier. So I'm going to start sharing my screen one more time, and then I'm going to be talking about the ones that I'm actually going to be most likely looking at. So I want to go back and do the AAOI. The reason that I like this one so much, it's because I built this gap and it's all within one day. Therefore, if it continues to gap back up, it definitely has that margin of profit within a day. So I'm going to wait for the break of 150, and if it holds and breaks above 150, then that would give me a better understanding that it's actually starting to trend back up to this $64 old support, which is a new resistance, has a 4% profit margin. So again, if I take a position size of anywhere around from like $4,000, that's a pretty decent profit just for a quick day trade, right? So another thing that I see value in, and again, you guys don't have to see value in this at all, is AMD. The reason I see value in AMD is once it bounces, just due to the price where it's at right now, if we do a 20-day analysis, we can see that it previously bounced at 161. It was seeing a downward trend, right? And again, it's heading back down pretty quickly today. Once we identify the support and once it starts trending up, the potential that it does have, I think is pretty great. So that's 10% potential, and I did that within like 3 to 4 days. So again, as a swing trade, that shows pretty decent potential. This one's the next one, INFY. Because of the bounce that it had and because of the resistance that it was breaking, if it continues to trend upward and it breaks again this resistance that it has at 1450, then that would give me a better understanding that it's going to continue to trend back up, and then it has the potential to hit $15. So therefore, I can make a better assumption that it's most likely going to continue trending up and potentially make up the margin that it previously had. And that's anywhere from 3% to highs of 6% if it goes back up to its previous resistance. So again, the potential for profit is much greater than the potential for loss if you stop loss quickly, right? So 1450 being the support, wait for the break above 1450, wait for it to start trending up, buy in at whatever price point, or I'm going to buy in at whatever price point that I choose to buy in, and then stop loss out if it goes below 1450. So again, very small margin for loss, a lot more potential for profit. RAD still holding above 220, so the potential is there. It's just not really seeing much volume or much demand. AKS, not really seeing the potential today. Okay, so it just broke the support at 24.50, and it looks like it hit lows of 24. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient with SQ, and if I can get it at a lower $24 price point, then that would be a good indicator. Again, SQ is a Square. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, for those that don't know what it is. And then DWT. DWT now trending back up after the red day that it had on Friday. Looks like it's trending back up, and it is experiencing somewhat of a pullback, but it's trying to hold. Again, when I called it out within the group, it was at like $28. Now it's at $29. So if it continues this trend, the old support, which is the new resistance, is at $30. So still decent margin left. It's up to you. So just broke above, again, that support. And then JDST. JDST, if it can continue trending, if it can continue trending up and actually hold above the support at 59, that would be a good indicator for myself. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about the different stocks that we were talking about. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Okay, so it looks like a couple of you guys are asking me to analyze Alphabet and Netflix, but he ignores those stocks. No, send me the ticker symbols, and I'd be more than happy to, break down that stock and see if I see value in it, if that's something that you guys want me to see. Let's see. And again, guys, if you guys didn't catch like the beginning portion of this video, due to kind of it being already like an hour after the market open, obviously the volume is going to be a lot lower. So that's why I kind of want to, not anything's going to happen like too quickly at this specific time, unless there's like a, a technical breakout or something like that. So it looks like, JDST has been flatlining at $59 for the past couple of minutes. AMD against the $11.90. So again, don't this time frame could actually be a good time for like new day traders or new people that want to get into the market. The first 15 minutes, 30 minutes are usually the most volatile within the market open. Therefore, it could be very tricky for a new trader to be able to, identify quick in and out because the prices move so quickly. But after, 1 hour, they're kind of like flatlining. Some of them are starting to see downward trends and going back to the old supports. Therefore, it can give you an opportunity if you wait for the validation of the support and then wait and it bounces and continues an upward trend. They can give you a better understanding that, okay, now I'm more comfortable trading with like the lower volume and stuff like that because it's more at a pace that is a little bit easier to understand and to take advantage of opportunities. So. Let's see. All right, so there's someone asking me to analyze MU. Ooh. Yeah, all these technology companies are having a really, really bad day today. And that's actually the point of this video. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and it's saying like how to profit on a red day in the stock market. So it comes down to there's one of two things that let me go ahead and just break down the stock real quick. Okay, well, if anything, I mean, this thing's like, it has a double top already at $30. If you guys could see here, even has a like, yeah, $30. And it looks like now it's just seeing a downward trend. It even broke the previous support that it had at at 29.50. And then it's starting to most likely trend back down. If it broke that support and it continues to trend back down, then it's most likely going to make its way back down to 26.66. So I do see why it probably caught your eye because it's been on a continuous upward trend. But again, I think you might have caught it a little bit too late just due to it having a double top already here at the $30 price point. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm going to set my alert because I do see the potential. Once it breaks below, I even think 27 can be a support. So I'm going to put my alert here. So now if you caught a stock a little bit too late, again, don't force it. If it starts to trend back up, then that could be a good indicator. So I'll set my alert there, but most likely if it doesn't trend back up, then why force it, right? Do you guys get what I'm saying? So yeah, JDST back. Okay. I feel like I want to pull the trigger on JDST. I really like INFY. There's just a lot of stocks that, there's just a good amount of stocks that okay, I'm reading a couple of your guys' messages. All right. All right. So, yeah. So the whole point of being able to make a profit on a red day, right? So a series of stocks right now, especially a lot of technology stocks, are experiencing red days. You have to understand that just because they're down so much doesn't mean that they're going to come back up all within one day. And if you're trying to treat this specific, if you have day trades and you're trying to set up a plan for a day trade, then something that I like to do is actually wait for the validation of the support, meaning that it actually bounces and then starts to trend back up to, the previous resistance or the previous support that it had, meaning that, it was at like, kind of like, for example, INFY, right? It had a support at $14.50 during the market open, and during pre-market hours, it had a downward trend all the way to $14. So it built this margin of, a loss of 50 cents. Therefore, once the market opened, it started trending back up and went back up to 14.50. Therefore, had a pullback, it validated the support, and then it started to trend back up. So once it validates the support and starts trending back up, that's an indication that it's actually seen an upward trend and that it might actually end up hitting the resistance. There's a different approach of, trading red stocks, kind of like AMD, for example, right now. AMD is still trying to hold above, 1190. But it has not actually, it validated somewhat of a support, but it's not actually bouncing yet. So why would you invest right now in AMD when it doesn't actually bounce? So what I'm saying is, when you're looking for these pullbacks, something that has assisted me in day trading red stocks is you wait for the bounce, you wait for the validation of the support, and then you wait for the trend back up. It doesn't mean that 100% it's actually going to end up hitting, its old support, which is going to be the new resistance. But you'll have a better understanding that you're actually investing in something that's appreciated in value, rather than trying to hope that you're getting at the lowest price and that it actually, bounces. So why hope that it actually bounces, and why not just be patient and wait for the bounce? Yes, you are giving up some margin, but by being patient, you're also not wasting a day trade that you'll have to stop loss out if it ends up, breaking its, breaking that support that it's validated, right? So again, wait for the validation, wait for the bounce, and then by being able to do that, you're seeing that it's actually seen an upward trend. And then once that happens, set up a plan that makes sense to you on how you can manage your risk and the potential for profit, and make sure that it's worth the trade. Just because it does the validation, just because it actually starts to bounce, it doesn't mean that you still have to trade it. If the risk or investment is not worth taking, then simply don't take it again. It's not that you have to day trade every single day. Day trade when you see potential, and don't when you don't. If you see a potential for swing trade, then take advantage of that. Kind of like what I see potential in as a swing trade is JDST at the moment. So if none of the stocks for day trade are playing out according to my favor and meeting my criteria, I'm not going to force it. I see that JDST is at a pretty decent price point based on a 20-day analysis and based on the price point that it's at right now. So maybe I can buy 6,000 shares of JDST and then end up later selling that when it's at a 10% profit margin and make $600 on a swing trade. And it's something that I didn't have to be too worried about. I'm not going to watch this thing every single minute, because a lot of people that end up swing trading certain stocks, you guys watch it like their day trades, and I don't understand that, because that's like torture, right? Because you see it trend down, you see it trend up, and that's not my approach. My approach is I'd much rather, once I have this margin of profit, I follow with a trailing stop loss and I let it do its thing. I try to be as patient as I can, and I've seen that a lot of people get very impatient with swing trades, and just because they don't play out the way that they want it to right away, they make the mistake of cutting losses or locking in profits right away when it didn't even break any of the rules that you had, they end up having to cut losses, and then it ends up, actually hitting the resistance that they thought that it was going to hit. But again, it comes down to what your plan is and what you see value in. So if that's your style of trading and it works for you, then go for it. But if it doesn't, then don't. What the heck? There's this person that is saying they're joining our live stream. They're saying that like watch live girls now, and then they put a link. That's so hilarious. I've never seen that on our live stream. I've seen those like spam comments. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh my goodness, that was weird. So there's this comment in the live stream that there's these like girls saying like, oh, join us like in the webcam or something like that. I'm guessing that's oh, have they been commenting this whole time? That's so funny. But do people actually click on that? I don't understand. Like, do people actually click on that and be like, oh man, like they must actually want me to like, check that out. This must be legit. No, like that's not true. Guys, that's like hoping for the best with trading low cap stocks. uh, you punk. Good mood tunes. All right. Carlos is like, it was not legit. All right, so AMD still at DCTH is, if anything, trying to trend back up. If it breaks above 14 cents, then that could be a good indicator that's actually rising or breaking its resistance and seeing an upward trend. Not too worried about that one though. INFY, again, the volume is just so the demand isn't going to really just be there. It actually looks like it's, let me share my screen with you guys. It actually looks like it's hitting a resistance, but I actually don't think that it's going to continue trending up. So this is what I mean. This is why it's so important to not force it. So again, the old support, which is 14.50, it becomes a new resistance when it breaks below it. So now the new support is $14. It trended up to 14.50, but if you guys see, it's starting to actually build this kind of like hill, right? And by completing this, you would only expect it to kind of complete the hill and then see a downward trend. So if anything, if it does not break above 14.50 and hold, then we're most likely going to see a trend back down. So for those that are in right now, it's actually showing signs that you should probably lock in profits, as it's actually showing it kind of like flatlining and seeing it, not a downward trend at all yet, but it's just flatlining. And if a stock continues to flatline at a resistance and it's not able to break it, people are going to see that the demand is not going to be there and going to start locking in profits. And then that's going to, mean that, well, that's going to directly correlate to a price decrease. So not good there. Yeah, SQ still trying to hold. I'm going to be patient with that one as well. Dang, I haven't seen ECYT in a while. The thing has continuously been dropping. That thing sucks. I actually like JDST. So JDST, and then there's a, dude, guys, DWT. This thing is, that's a quick little day trade. So I think I might, yeah, okay. So again, please guys, only invest in what you guys see value in. What website am I using? I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. I say that in every video. Sorry, I mean, if you're new, I understand. But yeah, so again, guys, so the ones that I'm going to be focused on, in no way do these have to be the stocks that you have to focus on whatsoever. But the ones that I see value in most right now that are actually bouncing or seeing an upward trend is JDST due to the overall price point, and then DWT due to the upward trend that it's seen in the resistance that it previously had, or support that it previously had at $30, and most likely going to become the new resistance. So that thing's at 29. So if it can continue to trend back up, it has around a 4% profit margin. So I take if I take a $4,000 position size, what is that? 4% of $4,000. That'd be like $160. So again, nothing huge, but it could be a quick little profit for that specific trade. So. All right, and then we're going to end it with this last question. So if you guys would like to be a part of TechBit Solutions, the link is down below. And if you guys would like to schedule a one-to-one video call with me, the link is down below as well. I am all booked for today. I do have, I think, one opening tomorrow, so feel free to check that out. But let me go ahead and answer this question. So this question is coming from Victor Shen. He says, hey, Ricky, when you swing trade, aren't you worried that the price will drop during aftermarket hours? How do you manage your risk if that drops a lot? Okay, so when it comes to swing trade, so what he means is, if you guys don't know, you're able to trade and buy and sell a stock within market open. After the market closes, you're not able to do anything. So if there's a price fluctuation or it actually ends up gapping down or gapping up, that's a risk that you're taking. When it comes down to a swing trade, you have to have some form of fundamental or better understanding on why this is going to continue to trend back up. To your ideal sell point. So what I usually do is like JDST. Right now it's at such a low point that basically based on the 20-day analysis that I've seen, and even further analysis if you do 180-day analysis, you can see that it usually bounces at around $58 to around $60. Right now it's at 59, so it's right in that kind of like in the middle. Therefore, it has a resistance at around 65 to highs of 70. Therefore, the potential for profit is much greater than the potential for loss. So all of a sudden, if tomorrow, God forbid, that there's like a release of news that we are going to war and stuff like that, JDST most likely will not do well. It's JNEG that's gonna do well. Therefore, JDST will take a big drop. If that's what happens, then I'll just cut my losses as quick as I can during pre-market hours, as long as I know that I'm not overselling or I'm not becoming a panic seller, like everyone else might be. Understanding that, yes, AAOI just broke below 60.68. So yes, there's always this form of risk involved when swing trading, but it comes down to, again, I'm not swing trading penny stocks. I'm not swing trading such low cap stocks that have no true value, that are kind of just all over the place. I'm swing trading stocks or ETFs that have a little bit more of a fundamental understanding, and that are at price points that even if they do drop $1 or $2, it sometimes is only up like 1 or 2% of what it is that I'm investing. So if I lose, $40 or $80 when the potential for profit, from JDST, if I want to swing it all the way up to $70, is over $400, then the risk or the investment is worth taking, at least in my eyes. If it's not for you, then simply don't trade it. If you see more potential or more opportunity in day trades, then again, focus and invest in what you see value. And I'm not here to tell you guys that you guys have to follow my style, because I know my style is not the most attractive. People don't like that. I'm not much of a momentum trader, and that's probably one of the most attractive styles of trading, just because it's a quick in and out, and they make a good amount of profit within a small period of time. But again, they also can lose a good amount of money in a short period of time, and that's not an approach that I'm taking, because day trading, if you guys have seen, isn't that exactly what it is that I previously was doing, and I was day trading 2 to 3 different stocks every single day. Now I'm swing trading or day trading 1 or 2 stocks just to maintain these specific videos that I'm making, because so much more of my time and my work has to deal with like the series of businesses that I have and TechBet solutions, because of the whole management portion that we have behind it. So that's pretty much it. We're all in different positions in life. We all have different things that we have going on. Day trading is sometimes ideal for some people. Swing trading is ideal for others. And then there's specific styles of each specific, swing trading and day trading that people have. So, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask people what has led to their success, and test the waters, the simulation trading and paper trading, and develop your own unique style of trading. So if you guys didn't see the video that I made with Levi, he made like 2,300 or 2,400 on his, or 2,800, I'm not too sure, on one of his positions on CYTR. And he talked about that he learned some stuff from me. He learned some stuff from a series of other traders, and that helped him build his successful, unique style of trading. He didn't learn everything he could from me. What he took from me was being open-minded, and trying to listen to everyone's point of view that has led to their success, and see if it works for him. And if it doesn't, then again, he just moves on. But if it does, he makes sure he capitalizes on that specific trait and style, and he continues to work on it to refine it. And that's the whole point of trading: seeing what you do well, seeing what you do bad, and always trying to develop yourself as a better trader. So I'm gonna keep it at that. But yeah, so I am going to keep you guys up to date on the new investment property that I ended up purchasing. It was that condo. So I'll keep you guys up to date. My offer did get accepted, and now we're moving on forward. I'm going to reach out to my real estate agent and have a couple calls right after this video. So again, the stocks that I'm going to be day trading are nothing crazy. They're all priced $29 or more. And that's because that's what I currently want to invest in. So if you guys don't see value in that, then I 100% understand. But check out Connor. He's a momentum trader within our group, and his YouTube channel is on the right-hand side of, let's see if I can pull it up. So if you guys are not subscribed to me, that's an option. You guys definitely don't have to though. Connor's right here. He's one of our momentum traders, so feel free to check him out. He goes live every morning. Brad's an OTC stock trader, and he's had a couple of students that have made over $2,800, $1,700 here, 300% gain, and then $2,800. And these guys are all part of TechBet Solutions as well. And then we have Kyle, who's an OTC. He's a day trader as well, but he's also a buy and reseller, different things. So again, we have different members that excel in different markets, and we have him right here. So he makes videos about like how he makes about like $5,000 to $8,000 a month when it comes down to the buying and reselling of different products. So again, we all have different things that we have going on that we excel in, but one of the things that we all have in common is the passion for day trading, or the passion for investing in the stock market, and we just share our best practices. We do this all for free, so if you guys see value in it, we'd love to have you as a part of our team. If you don't, then no, you definitely don't have to. All we ask you to do is, if you are part of our group, to simply promote a supportive environment. We're really here to help motivate one another, and I hope you guys can see that. So continue working hard, continue doing what it is that you guys love. Just an update: the TechBet Solutions website, I am meeting up with the developer developers today to allow people to start signing up for the beta trials. The TechBud Solutions website, I'm sure, again, when it comes to the group chats, when it comes to the discussions and the direct messages and the platform that we're going to be launching, it's all going to still be for free. So I hope you guys know that. A couple of people have been direct messaging me on how much we're going to charge. It's all going to be for free. We just want to in-house like everything when it comes down to the discussions and the posts, and just keep it completely separate from all these different kind of group chats and platforms that we have available, and kind of just keep it all together, making it that much more efficient for people to be able to communicate with one another. So thank you guys again for everything it is that you guys do. Conor McGregor? No, not that one. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. And like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.